Are you a parent who is contemplating whether to allow your child to go onto the career path of an animator? And then are you still contemplating whether he or she can be self-reliant in the job market? If this is you, kindly watch this video because this video is made purposely for you. And secondly, are you a student who is thinking about doing animation and you are contemplating whether it can pay you and whether there's enough room for you to actually flourish in the job market as an animator? If this is you, this video is also made for you. All right, so stay tuned. All right, so about the opportunities in the animation industry, there are so much opportunities in the industry, and I want you to know that there's no better time to be an animator, better yet, a content creator or a contributor to the content creation than now in the history of mankind. Okay, so what are the job opportunities? Okay, so as an animator, you can work in every industry which we have on this planet. You can work in the educational system. You can work in the engineering system. You can work in the film industry, which obviously is. You can work in the hospitality industry. You can work in the mining industry. You can work in the banking industry. Look, as an animator, there's so much room for you. In every single industry, you have a place. So depending on what you're passionate about, so let's say you're an animator and you're passionate about medical research or medical industries. That sounds really good. So with that, what can you do? You can apply as an animation presenter. So you can do presentations for new diseases and microbiological simulations for stuff, whereas you use animation to constantly express very deep concepts in the biological industry. So in that particular industry, you realize that you can do so much. As an animator, you can work in the gaming industry. You can as well work in the film industry. You can work in every industry, from banking to mining to real estate to the hospitality industry to tourism industry. You have a place everywhere. You just have to know how to pitch in. Okay, so the next thing is that how do you pitch in and how do you get into that particular space? Okay, so another thing is that before you finish school, you should have built a good portfolio so that after that you can use it to pitch in to studios, okay, for opportunities to actually work around being an animator in those spaces. Or as well, if you don't have the opportunity to go to animation school, you should have a portfolio prepared. Okay, that is which is good enough so that you can pitch as well to the studios. One thing you need to take note of is that every single studio and what they look out for. So studios tend to have a particular style where they like to maintain. So if you want to apply for a particular studio, one of the things you need to do is to do enough research about that very studio and see whether your skill set or your style actually meets the expectation of that studio. You don't just do any kind of stuff and you send to that studio. So that thing is very important that you actually do. I mean, that due diligence you need to do, and you need to do it by yourself. So yeah, as I said, let's say you finish school and then you are passionate about animation, yet you would love to be in the medical sector to practice your animation. Perfect, you have a space there. So what can you do, or how can you go about that? So in the medical sector, they tend to do a lot of simulations. Okay, they tend to actually also do stuff whereas they like to sell out their creations or maybe their biological findings and all that. So let's say you have to simulate some biological process. You can't do that with the camera. I mean, the best medium to use is animation. So with animation, you can create the whole process, which a lot of people wouldn't be able to understand. I mean, in any other form but animation, to the investor of that particular biological research. So in this very case, you are practicing as an animator and as well in an industry where you may be passionate about, which may be medical industry. So you are actually having two joys being met in this particular scenario. Then again, let's say you want to be an animator and you want to work in the architecture industry. How do you work around this? So you apply as a 3D animator in a real estate company, and then what you do is that you create architectural pre-visualizations for these architectural companies to be able to pitch their ideas to their prospective investors. And in this case, you would create the whole estate or the whole buildings for the architectural firms so that you can have their investors truly appreciating the project that they want to embark on. So then again, what's happening here? You have your passion as an animator met, and then the industry that you're also secondly passionate about also met. So you have two joys in one. There's no other better thing or better space to be in than this. So the examples are countless. I mean, there are so many instances, okay? So secondly, what I get is how much are animators being paid? Well, when you go online, you can just see for yourself, you know. So in the US per se, you realize that the entry pay for animators is almost at a minimum of say 50K, 55. Okay, so for 55 upwards, as much as people taking as much as $2 million in a year and over for practicing as an animator. It depends on the kind of animator that you are, and then your skill set, and then your level in the industry. Okay, Africa and some aspects of Asia, you realize that it's almost half of what is happening in the US. So we're looking, if it's almost 50 or 60 in the US, you're looking at almost 30 to 25 to 30 there for a startup, for someone who is having an entry level skill set in the animation industry. But that does not have to weigh down on you, because that's even is enough to actually get you running as an animator. So then again, back to our question. So if you're a parent and you're still thinking that can my child actually have his way or survive in the animation industry, then you should know that yes, my child can actually survive. There are so much opportunities out there online. Currently, there's something we call the METAVERSE, and the new world that is being built on the virtual platform. And then animators have a big space there, because in that world, everything is going to be virtually created. So there are so much opportunities out there for animators, and then we have barely even scratched the surface. And then the world as global as it is, you're getting paid from all sides. So parents, this is the best time to have your children or your kids in the creative industry, better yet, the animation industry. So when your kid comes around and shows interest to be an animator or a creative, well, you should embrace it. So this is the best time for you to motivate, inspire, and edge them on, so that they can actually explode and be the best that they can be in the creative space. Because there's no better time. I mean, there's no better time to be a creative than now, okay? All right, so if you're a parent, I'm sure by now you'd have gotten some insights about why you should actually motivate, inspire, and encourage your ward to actually pursue the creative journey as an animator, all right? Okay, so if you're new to this channel, again, kindly subscribe and kindly share and like so that we can push this content out there. I love you guys and stay safe. Bye for now.